Hi, this is Job from GitLab. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can manage your projects when you're starting to get a big GitLab instance with lots of projects. So as you can see, I have quite a lot of projects, and one of the cool new features that you can do in GitLab is only seeing the activity of projects that you have started. And it's very useful because rather than entering the website and seeing a lot of activity, and even though you're able to filter it, this can be quite overwhelming, especially if you are a member of many projects. So all I have to do is just go into one of my projects and click on Star. If I go back to the dashboard to start projects, I will only see the activity of my start project. So you can imagine this is really useful when your server starts growing and you have more and more projects. Now let's look into how to manage these projects and the permissions when your GitLab instance starts to grow. So as you might know, when you create a new project in GitLab, let's give it a name. You can set it to a namespace. You can either put it under your personal namespace, in which case only you can access it or anyone that you give explicit access. But what you likely want to do is you want to add it under a group. You can set the visibility level, which explains itself. But more importantly, you want to think about how and who can access this project. So what do I typically do is I make sure first and foremost that my group is set up with the right people there. So what you would do is you would add typically people to the group and give them a role. This means that for each project belonging to this group, so we can actually see them here, simple project, database, and website, these people have these permission levels assigned, meaning Marin is a developer, Patricio is a master, and Git is a reporter. And I'm the owner of the group. Now this is really simple and this is a really nice way. And I'm sure you figured this out. But one of the nice things is that if you still want to change permissions for an individual user, you can actually do this. So let's say that, going back again here, Marin is developer, but for one of the projects belonging to this group, he is actually a little bit more than a developer and he has to be able to merge code into master. For instance, for the website, we can simply go to settings, members, add member, and add Marin as a master. And this is a simple trick, but now even though Marin has developer permission for all projects in this group, for this specific project he actually has master permission and is able to merge into any protected branches. Now this is really nice, but what if you have a project in another group that you want to share with, in this case, a big group? What do? Now you can of course migrate the project, but the problem is that all the links and all the remotes that everyone locally has set up will die and they will stop working. If it's only a single project, what you likely want to do is share it with the group. Let's try it out with one of my own projects, supermarket app. And let's say we want to share this with the big group. We go to settings, groups, and now we can say can be shared with big group. Now, as you might know, we've set the permissions in big group in a certain way. Some people are master, other developer, other reporter. But I don't necessarily want those permissions to be true for this specific project. Maybe I'm just sharing this for them to have the source code rather than actually being able to do any write actions in this repository. So what I can do is I can simply set the max access level for this project. In this case, I can set it to reporter so that everyone has read access to this repository in that group, but is not able to do any write actions and are able to do any pushes to this repository. If I click share, you will see immediately that it's shared with, and if I go to the big group, sorry, if I look here at members, of course, I can see that I'm my own project member, of course, but because I shared it with big group, these members all have access with the reporter role. So by combining permissions on a project level, where you can elevate one's permissions on a group level, where you set the base permissions for a group of projects, and by making use of the shared project feature, you can easily categorize and assign permissions within your uh, GitLab instance.